Hello everyone, I'm back for my second video, and today we're going to work with the Camp Out cartridge. And this one is a solutions cartridge, so it's a little bit different. And so I wanted to show you what I was going to do first. This is the only thing that you get with the solutions cartridges. You don't get the manuals that you do in the full-size cartridges. Each key on the mat is going to be shown right here. You have a shadow and a blackout button, and then the shift key, if you look on the inside here, it will show you exactly what it is, which most of them are just a little bit of embellishment. Like this is a tent, so there's a tent overlay. The animals have their tracks that you can do. Not really a lot, but if you have an outdoorsman, this is a must, which my husband is, and so we're going to work on some Father's Day cards, or just, you could use it birthday cards or whatever. And today I'm going to cut the fish and the fishing pole. And now another thing that I learned on this, the fishing pole is just a long rod, of course. So it's really kind of difficult to figure out the sizing, because it's not talking the length of the rod, and it's not necessarily talking about the width, and you'll see this in a minute when I cut it. So I pretty much just had to play until I figured out the size that I wanted. What I did was I cut the fishing pole at 1.5. So I have my dial, my size dial at 1.5, and this is the fishing pole here. So I'm just going to click it, which actually I clicked it twice accidentally. Okay, so I have the fishing pole, which after we cut it, we start putting it together. I will talk to you a little bit more about the size and how the Cricut's actually measuring it for what you put in. The second cut that we're going to do is the fish, and there's two fish on this cart. One that looks like it's caught, and the other one's just a long profile fish. And we're going to do the one that looks like he's caught. He's going to be coming off the fishing pole. Okay, I'm going to keep the dial at 1.5 inches, and I'm going to push the fish and cut. Now both of these have a kind of a detail cut that's on the shift that just cuts part of the fishing pole and parts of the fish, and I'm going to go ahead and cut those two out and have those ready to put on the cart. Okay, first of all I wanted to show you the fishing pole and the sizing and how the Cricut reads the size, like I was trying to explain a minute ago. And so it's cutting this away, and remember that I put it at 1.5 inches, so it's measuring from here to here. And you can see that it's not, you know, the fishing pole is not 1.5 inches wide, it's not 1.5 inches long, it's just the way that it lays it on the mat, and because it's at an angle, then it's 1.5 inches. So, and then this is the fish, and I went ahead and did the detail cut. And actually, I did not realize this, but on the fishing pole, it's actually the fishing line and the hook, and then on the fish, it's just the head and the main part of the body without the fins. And so we will be decorating those up. Okay, now we're ready to embellish the fish and the fishing pole that's going to go on our card. And I'm just going to use some chalk inks. You could use the Cat Eye color box chalk inks, or the inks here are by Quick Quotes, and they're called powder puffs. So they're the same type of chalky ink. They're not real pigmented, so they give a really soft look. And then I'm using a makeup sponge. You could use any type of sponge, or dauber, Tim Holtz daubers, you know, whatever you have. And I'm just taking some dark blue and I'm dabbing on the tail and the face, and then just go to a clean spot on your sponge, and I have some green that I'm going to do on the body. And then I also have a rust color that I'm going to put onto the fin. And don't worry about being really neat. The more that it kind of melds together and stuff, the better it looks, in my opinion. So just quickly put it on. And then I did the same thing on the body of the fish that I'm going to pop dot on top. I just put the blue on the face and the green on the body, and then later we'll be putting pop dots on that, like I said. And then on the fishing pole, I am not going to do anything on the fishing line or the hook. I'll do that later with a pen, and I'll show you that. On the fishing pole itself, I'm going to use the blue and put it on the reel. And then the rust colored, we'll put it on the handle. It kind of has a bulge where it's a handle, so we'll put red there. And then on the pole itself, I'm going to use the color box inks. And the color that I'm using is Chestnut Roan, and that's my absolute favorite color. You'll see me use it later. I use it on everything. It just does a really nice job of, making something look rustic and, very nice ink. Okay, now we're ready to put our card together. And I started with a piece of ivory cardstock that was 8.5 by 11, and I cut it in half, and then took that half and folded it in half, and that will be our card. And then if you take a chocolate piece of cardstock, and I cut it 4 by 5 1/4, and then I had a green piece of paper that I just had in my scrap pile, and that piece is 2.5 by 3 1/4. And then I'm using that Chestnut Roan again just to go around and ink all of the edges of all the pieces that's going to go on my card. I'm even doing the card itself on the front side, just to give it that look. And like I said before, if you're doing a guy's card, you really need to, grunge it up, I think. And then I'm also going back and even inking around all the edges of the fish and the fishing pole, just so that everything looks like it goes together. And then I'm taking my ATG gun and putting the chocolate onto the card. And this sticks really, really well, so you need to make sure that you get it where you want it. And then this is the green piece, and it's just going to go in the upper left-hand corner. And then I'll be using the two-way glue pen to adhere the other small pieces along with some pop dots. And I'm just laying it out here trying to decide, if I want to use both pieces and how I want it to do. So here's my two-way glue pen. And you want to work really quick, because if this dries, it won't be permanent, and so it'll be kind of popping off your cards. So I stuck it on, and if you noticed, I broke my little fishing line, so I had to glue it back down. Hopefully my fish won't get away. And then here's the hook, and I left the hook up because I'm going to put this fish underneath the hook so that the hook goes between the two fish pieces so that it's in his mouth and he's really hooked. Okay, and then I'm going to take the pop dots and put onto the top piece of the fish and lay him on. And this could be a Father's Day card, birthday cards, whatever. Okay, this here is a silver pen, and it's by Creative Memories. You could use any type of silver pen, and I just went over the hook. And then I have a black pen. This is a Zig Millennium. It's a really fine tip black pen. It's great for detail work. And I'm just doing stitches all the way around the outside edge of this black piece. And then I'm going to outline around the fish and the fishing pole. Now, I'm not doing a solid, really perfect line. I'm just kind of sketching around. It'll lift up part of the time, but it will help define your pieces and just make them really pop. Okay, I'm outlining the fishing pole, and I'm even going to sketch a little bit around the fishing line. But then I'm going to go back on top of the fishing line, and I have this white pen, and this is an absolutely best white pen I have ever found. It's a Uniball Signo white pen. I bought it from the local scrapbook store. Okay, the last thing I did was to write on the card, "Fishing you a happy Father's Day." You could use a stamp or anything if you have it, or do it on the computer. I hope you enjoyed watching, and please leave a comment and let me know what you think or if you make a card. And thanks for watching. Bye.